Well, hello there everyone, my name's Amy, this is The Opinionated Woman, and welcome to a little reading vlog. I haven't done a reading vlog in a good while about like specific books, so that is what I'm going to be doing today. This completely snuck up on me. You know what happened? I blame the Sea Point Library. It's the Sea Point Library's fault. I just finished 3 books from the library and I went to go take them back today, and on one of their displays in the YA section I saw one of these books, and it's been on my TBR for forever and I have not been able to get hold of the audiobook or the book itself, and I was like, I don't think I can pass that up. And then I carried on looking in the YA section and I found another one, and they both happen to be Latinas and YA. So these are, I think, YA romances. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they're gay YA books, and that is what this book is going to be about. Hispanic gay YA. So I was like, I've got them in my little parcel. The Sea Point Library, if you like YA and queer books, you need to go to the Sea Point Library. It has got such a good selection, and that's the reason that I ended up going to that library, because it's not in my area. So I just decided to go there because I saw them on TikTok, and I saw Ace of Spades, which I loved, and so I went to go find that, and there's so much available. So the book that caught my eye was The Lesbianas Guide to Catholic School by Sonora Reyes. Look at this. Sprayed edges. Hello. Like, this looks really good. I cannot even remember what it's about. At least now I'll know to keep my mouth shut about any crushes. This time I'll be stealthy gay, like Kristen Stewart. Not anymore. So yeah, it's about a Mexican girl going to a mostly white, rich Catholic school. I went to a white, rich Catholic school as a white, rich girl. Obviously, I don't have the, you know, being Mexican part of, like, being a person of color side of that things, because we didn't have any Mexican people in my school. We're in South Africa. But I went to 13 years of Catholic school, so I thought this book would be something that I would relate to. And yeah, there's something about falling in love, but I don't want to look at, I don't want to actually read the back. I just want to go into it because it's been on my TBR for so long. I just want to go in completely blind. And then when I went into the stacks, I found another one that I recognized from my TBR, and that's Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera. And I loved the top of this. My name is Juliet Palante. I've been reading your book, Raging Flower, Empowering Your Pussy by Empowering Your Mind. No lie, I started reading it so I could make people uncomfortable on the subway. And I'm writing to you now because this book of yours, this magical labia manifesto, has become my Bible. And I was like, that sounds great. So Juliet is Puerto Rican, and I'm also not going to look too much at, I try not to get a glare on it. I'm not going to look at too much about what this is about. We're just going to read them and we're going to see. And this is very convenient because reading YA is very speedy. So it's the end of the year and I've got, how many? At this moment in time, I've got 11 books to read, including the one that I'm reading currently. And then I'm going to dive into these 2, and I think they're going to be quite quick to knock off my list. So yeah, super chuffed about that. I also wanted to give a little update, because usually if you watch my channel, every year that I've had my channel, I've done my Pride reading. So I only read queer books, and I vlog every day, every week of that month. But next year, I'm not going to be here in June. I'm going to be overseas. I haven't gone on holiday like since I went to Thailand in 2017, which is pretty cool. It was very stressful, and then before that I hadn't gone since I was 17, so that's 2007. So I'm going to the UK where my mom is, and we're gonna do some exploring, and I'm going to be doing so much vlogging, I hope, for the different adventures that we're going to be getting on, because I'd love to look back on those someday. So I was just thinking, like, you know what, it's fine to not do the readathon and the queer reading this year, because I'm going to have so much like travel content, and I wouldn't be able to bring my whole TBR with me to the UK, because obviously I wouldn't have space in my suitcase, and I'm planning to buy books in the UK because they have charity shops galore and the selection is really good. The prices are great. So I only want to take like one book with me, or two books with me, and then I'll read the books that I get there. So it's just not going to be conducive to Pride. So I need to take my little Pride pile and add it to my normal TBR. Come with me. It's a grey day. It's a grey day. Okay, so we've got a candle. This is Franny Langton, Confessions of Franny Langton, which is historical fiction. And then we've got Ophelia After All, which is YA romance. I've heard lots of good things about. Apparently there's an arrow and an ace character in this, which is awesome because I am on the asexual spectrum. And then The Split by Laura Kay is about a gay woman that decides to start running a to cure her heartbreak. So come back, camera. Sorry, I'm on my my thing, so I can do this and nothing much happens. Like, ooh. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to finish off the book that I'm reading. Then I'm going to start on the Lesbianas Guide to Catholic School. I'm so excited. Come along with me. Crafty reads, I might as well update you on the very beginning of the Lesbianas Guide to Catholic School. So I'm already loving this. First of all, I was the first person to take this out of the library, which is dope. I've never been the first person to take a library book out, which is so cool. So we're following Yamile Flores, and her brother, what is his name? I only just started, Caesar. Caesar and Yamile have just started over at a Catholic school that's very white. Yamile left her previous school because her previous best friend outed her. And she doesn't want her family to find out. She doesn't want the rest of the school to find out. You know, her mom is super religious. So like, she's really scared at the thought of, you know, being a lesbian. And she just wants a fresh start, and she says that she's going to be an undercover queer like Kristen Stewart, a stealthy gay. This time I'll be a stealthy gay like Kristen Stewart. And she shouts to herself about not being gay. She goes, and then Jenna calls me cute again, and she really needs to cut that shit out because she's most definitely straight and I'm most definitely not gay. Not here. And there's just so many funny little lines in here that it just absolutely killed me. She's already shouted at a teacher about abortion, and what would a straight girl do? That's what her motto is. So she's like looking at Bo, who's like this Chinese girl who's like one of the only other people of color at the school. There's like a handful. And she's I told myself I'd be super straight at this school, but I can't help it. Bo has a cute butt, and I look away and ask myself my new motto, WWSGD, what would a straight girl do? Can I acknowledge a cute butt straightly? I love it. It's so good. It's giving me like more progressive and updated like Angus thongs and full frontal snogging kind of in the vibe. Like literally the first line is 7 years of bad luck and slope my ass. And then each title sounds like a sin. So thou shalt not trust a two-faced bitch. And honor thy liner and thy hoops. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's butt. You know, so like already I'm loving this. It's so much fun, and I feel like I'm going to get through it really fast. So yeah, I might even get into reading a little bit later this afternoon, but we'll see. So far, so 10 out of 10. Saturday mode. On Saturdays I don't shower, and I've got yesterday's makeup from Crafty Reads on my face, but I just wanted to tell you that I am having a ball reading this book. An absolute ball. It is so well written, it's so engaging, it's so funny. Yamile is such a wonderful character. I love her brother Caesar. I love him. And there's this boy at school called Hansa who's friends with Caesar, and he's just the sweetest little golden retriever you've ever seen. And Bo is just like, I know she's cool and expressive and accepting. And their friends David and Amber are also the sweetest little babies. Like, they're just like such a lovely little friend group. So I'm absolutely loving reading this book. I've just finished my cup of coffee, got myself some water because it's hot, and I'm just going to read some more because it's the weekend and I can. And this book is excellent. All the hype was worth it. And I'm only, hang on, okay, cool. This is my halfway check-in. I'm sorry about my hair. I'm halfway through, and Yamile is definitely cracking. Like, she's so determined to be the straightiest girl in the straight world, and things are not quite working out. And I just think the interpersonal relationships are written so well. Like, you get such a clear idea of each one of these characters. Sonora Reyes is a really good writer. I want to see if they've written anything else, or if this is their debut. That's fucking wild. But anyway, I'll update you when I am done, or if I have anything pertinent to say in between. I'm not crying over a book. You're crying over a book. Leave me alone. I was in a cute ass dress earlier, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna film in my cute little dress. And then I needed to put Transact patches on my back because I'm ancient. I'm 33. And I've pulled a muscle in my back in my sleep. So I had to buy Transact patches, and trying to put them on is impossible, and the dress kept making them roll up. So 2009 killer's shirt it is. I finished this. Literally, it took me like a couple of days, like just a few sittings. I could have finished it last night, but I was quite tired and I wanted to really appreciate the ending, so I didn't push myself. This was so wonderful. Like, it's for sure going on my favorite books of the year, because like it has things to do with coming out and not being accepted and things like that, but there's also so much queer joy and hope in it. And I think Aiden Thomas blurbed this, which is great. I mean, Aiden Thomas is wonderful. A warm protective hug for teens fighting to be seen. And I feel like if I read this as a teenager, I think that's the thing about queer YA. It's books that I wish that I could have read as a teenager, and maybe figured things out a little sooner. That would have been good. But yeah, it was just, the ending was wonderful. It really subverted the way that I thought things were gonna go. Like I really thought that this like interaction with a certain person, like I knew how it was gonna go, and it really didn't go that way at all, and I really liked it. And I just love how well fleshed out all the characters are. Like all the side characters aren't just, you know, placeholders. Like that's what I find with some books that I read, like they focus very much on the main characters, and the side characters feel a little bit shallow, a little bit two-dimensional. And all of these side characters have their own, like, very well fleshed out character and motivations and stuff like that, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, if you're looking for good queer YA, this is like the Lesbianas Guide to Catholic School is fucking wonderful. And this is Sonora Reyes's debut, so I'd be so keen to find out what else they are going to write, because this only came out last year, so they've got time. I followed them on Instagram so I can make sure to keep up with them. So that means that I'm going to pick up Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera. This is following a Puerto Rican main character, and this was a Mexican main character. So this is like a Latina gay YA vlog. And I think it does also, like a lot of YA does incorporate like the coming out process in some form, and I think it's particularly pertinent in different cultures. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Oh, by the way, there is a character in here that is Chinese and adopted, and seeing her perspective and like her view around having white parents was very cool. I like that a lot. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is about. I just know she a bad bitch, because you can tell by the whole vibe. So I'm going to read this now. Know how you can tell my work has been slow. I cleaned that last week. I cleaned my oven just during the week on a Tuesday, and I was just making a TikTok wondering if I'm being ghosted by my client, and then because he hadn't logged into our call that we have on Mondays. And he messaged me 15 minutes after the meeting was supposed to have happened. So the meeting's come and gone. And he said he's still in Thailand. He's in Thailand apparently. And he was on a scooter. And I was like, must be fucking nice. So he says he's coming back on December 3rd. So I don't know whether that means that I'm not going to get articles till December 3rd. So I'm going to clean my under-the-counter cupboard. And then I'm going to read some of Juliet Takes a Breath. To update you about Juliet. I dropped you, I'm sorry. So Juliet Takes a Breath, I'm about 100 pages into it so far. So this is a little bit older than, it was in the YA section of the library. But it's definitely more like just graduated, like college age main character. So Juliet messages, she sends a letter or an email or whatever to the author of this feminist book that she's been writing. She's like this red-haired, like hippy-dippy white lady who lives, of course, in Portland. So Juliet is going from New York. She comes out to her family, ta-da, and then goes to Portland. So she's moved into this woman's house. She's going to help her write a new book. So this is like an internship that she's doing in the holidays. And she's trying to figure out like what her job is going to be there, because she's like, Harlow, the woman she's working for, doesn't have like a lot of structure. She's like very much like, ooh, you know, she's like that. And this whole time Juliet has been talking about her girlfriend Lainey, but we're 100 pages in and Lainey hasn't got like messaged her. She hasn't got hold of her. She hasn't returned any of her messages or her calls, and I'm worrying about that because that's probably going to lead to heartbreak. But yeah, it's really engagingly written. It's really fun. It's really funny. And like sometimes I read books like that are like a lot more on the serious side, and then I read books that blend serious topics with humor. And I think that both these books have like a really good amount of humor in there. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I am going to get back into that once I've cleaned my cupboard. And I'm going to hope that my other client messages me in the meantime, because it's time to do a Muse Kits blog. It's almost time. So, manifesting. Ta-da! The cleanest under the sink cupboard you've ever did see. I'm getting to be bored now. Except I'm being a big girl. I'm being a big girl and doing my. I was gonna pick them up. It's got a lot of incriminating evidence on it. I'm doing my expenses for the first 6 months of the year, because when my accountant needs them, then I just send them through because they're already done. I don't have to worry about fitting it in, because when he needs it is always going to be when I'm busy. It's never going to be when I have fuck all to do. So I have my statements and a pen and a little table set up on my mother because she's good at this stuff. Oh, I've got the hiccups. And I'm going to be a big girl and then do some reading. Good morning, friends. Okay, I have woken up again to no work because I found out yesterday, did I say this? My client is in Thailand, gallivanting on a scooter. So I just have to play the waiting game, which I hate. And it also means I'm a broke bitch right now. So I need to go shopping for groceries. And I figured the cheapest thing is not sushi. The cheapest thing is not sushi. The cheapest thing is tofu. So I'm going to go to the Chinese supermarket. I'm going to get 4 blocks of tofu for $5.50 each. I'm going to put them in my own container. I'm going to get noodles, which are like $15 a pack. And I've got homemade teriyaki sauce in my fridge. Oh, and I'm going to get some bok choy, which is also super cheap. So we're going to the Chinese supermarket for super cheap groceries. And then I don't really have much else to do, and I don't really have too much left of Juliet Takes a Breath. So I might sit down and try and finish it. What I'm really liking about this is because of the setting that Juliet is in. She's in a very like feminist, obviously, space. And the woman, Harlow, that she's working for is white, but she's in a relationship with a black woman. So there's a lot of talk about race and Harlow overstepping things, and then talking about microaggressions, and like, yeah, they're very active in talking about race and things like that. And they're also polyamorous, which was so cool to see. I was in a polyamorous relationship a couple of years ago, and I love seeing polyrep. And there's some polyrep in here, which I really, really like. It's just written so well. And I forgot to point out that Roxane Gay says this is fucking outstanding. So if Roxane Gay says it's outstanding, I believe her, and I believe her so far. I'm interested to see where it's going to go. There's like a certain woman that is the interest right now, so I'm interested to find out how that's going to go. So yeah, let me go buy some tofu, and then we'll see where the day takes me. Closed up my house and everything. I made a vlog clip about going to the beach, and literally as it was a little bit breezy, but as I've started talking about going to the beach, the wind is literally howling. I can hear it whistling. So it's probably not the best idea. So I'm unlocking my house. And I'm just going to sit on my couch and read my book instead of on the beach. Wish it was on the beach, but it's, unfortunately, that is not on the cards for today. But what I did say in that clip that I wanted to make sure I included here was, I don't think I've mentioned that Juliet is plus size. She's always talking about her, like how thick she is and how she has a fat ass and stuff like that. So I love having, like, it's so rare that I find a book with a fat main character, and I say fat in like the most complimentary way. Fat is not a bad word to me. So it's just so wonderful to see a Puerto Rican main character and a fat Puerto Rican main character. Like, it's just, yeah, some rep that I really appreciate. Please, can writers write more fat characters? Please, please, please. Okay, let me sit on my basic ass couch instead of on the nice beach. Yo, I was just editing the clip. Hello? Can I help you, small dog? Hey? He's jealous. Look at these babies. Red. What's up, Grumble Grew? What's up with you, Grumble Grew? And you Squeak? I call him Grumble and Squeak, because she grumbles and he squeaks. Hey? Ow! Hi! Anyway, so I just edited the clip where I mentioned that Harlow oversteps a lot of the time. And firstly, I found out that this is set in 2003. So this is fucking hardcore white feminism, and that is what this is giving. That whole hippy dippy woo woo, let us connect to our bodies and our periods, but it's from very much a white lens. And just after I said that Harlow oversteps things, something happened. Immediately as it started happening, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then it happened. I was like, awkward. I didn't like it. So yeah, I really enjoyed the way that scene was executed, and now realizing the timing of it, it makes so much more sense. Because if this was in, I mean, these people are still around in 2023, but like more of the feminist talk nowadays is about intersectional feminism. That's like the only feminism I'm interested in, is intersectional feminism, and definitely piping the fuck down while people of color are trying to fucking have a voice, you know, instead of trying to center ourselves all the time. But yeah, that is an issue that is happening in this right now, and it's being dealt with so well. And it's coming from, like, Juliet is not familiar with, like, now it makes more sense why she's not familiar with, like, pronouns and things like that. And what she didn't know what polyamory was. Like, she's young, but I was like, why doesn't she know about these things? And it's because it's 2003. So because we're seeing this through Juliet's lens, she's still trying to figure stuff out. She's quite young. She's still trying to figure everything out. And she's got a lot of drama happening in her life. And she's just, yeah, weathering every day and figuring out new stuff about herself and her identity and her history and the history of queer Puerto Ricans and things like that. So yeah, it's just very, very well done. And it's like I was saying, it's got humor in it, but this book is hard-hitting at the same time, like really hard-hitting. So yeah, a very successful reading vlog, and I'm not even done this book. The whole shop yesterday, no, the whole shop earlier, at the Chinese supermarket, it cost me 63 Rand, and I have noodles that are gonna last me like 1, 2, 3, 4 meals. I have tofu for 4 meals, and I have bok choy for 4 meals for 63 bucks. It's amazing. So this is my set. This steamer, and then I have my tofu. So that goes in the top, and then this bok choy goes in there, and then I heat it up. Hang on. So that's going to heat it up. So that's going to rumble for 20 minutes. And then I put it all in, and I put it in for 15 minutes. And then I slice the tofu like a Hasselback potato, and I pour the teriyaki sauce in. I mean, you can use store-bought teriyaki sauce. Just homemade is so easy, and it's cheap as shit. So, yeah, delicious. Okay, so there's my steamed tofu. Cut in the slices. Fliggity flubber it. And then we come over here and see what's happening with our stove. It's just got to melt. Tasty. Oh, steamy. Go in the gaps. Nice. What? One thing about not having consistent work, or not having work while my client is gallivanting, I've got plenty of time to read. So I've finished Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera. This was wonderful. I actually think, I wish this was about 100 pages longer. Like, she covered so many important things, and there were so many really interesting characters in this that Juliet had some like really meaningful interactions with, and I feel like if there were 100 pages more, we could have got like dug into them, you know, but like still that is a very small note, because I really loved this book. Like, I love that Juliet was drawn to Harlow because of you know, being introduced to feminism and her power as a woman. And she went on this whole internship for Harlow, but she ended up meeting this like really diverse blended group of queer women of color that she learned so much from along the way. Like, she found out so much about herself. She found she found out a lot about like self-love, about the history of queerness in her own culture and among people of color, because it's very different for white people. She confronts white saviorism in a very great way, because that's something that I took a very long time to be able to realize was an issue, and now my eyes have been opened to it. I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking everywhere, and that is tackled in here, and I think it manages it very well. But yet again, I think if there were more pages, we could have examined that a little bit more deeply. But anyway, this was a fucking excellent vlog, if I do say so myself. I loved both of these books. The Lesbianas Guide to Catholic School is on my favorites of the year list, no doubt about it. This is like completely, like, didn't plan on making this vlog at all, but this is going to end up being the last vlog of 2024. Probably going to be my second last video of 2024, which is absolutely wild. But I highly recommend both these books. They're incredible. And if you want to like diversify, especially through YA, I'm finding at the moment that all of the queer YA that I'm loving is by some form of person of color. Like, and it introduces me to such a rich background of different cultures that I have no idea about, or like I only have a like slight idea about. And like, these books really enmesh you in the culture and show you queerness through that lens, and I'm a slut for that shit. I love it. It's so good. It makes my brain feel like wholesome and enriched, you know? Anyway, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. My social media and my Kofi link are linked down below if you ever want to support my channel. And without further ado, I'll check you next time.